5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. By now, I'm sure I'm live. So let's see, I'm here, I'm checking my audio, yes. And when did it start? 4. So it was the count of 4 that it actually started playing. Now where's it coming through? It's coming through on Baby Beast. All right. So that was reminiscent of who? I guess Gary and Greg, because they commonly have their YouTube audio still running. I think it was those two when they join into Ken Stout Live. Tony says AVD are DVR good. A little bit of a late start. I came to my desk right at 8:59, I think it was. Tried to launch XSplit. Usually I already have it launched. Actually, I think I had already launched it, but I came back and found it was stuck trying to launch, failing to have launched. So I had to restart the computer. Yeah, Doug being a Doug from Ken. Okay, so today is Windows Daily number 23, HP Wake Up Failure and Exploring CosmicStrand Uefi Rootkit. Both of these, I think, are a little bit challenging to complete both of them during this, so I'm going to be maybe a little bit brief with them. And I need the Microsoft Word document to go follow up from comments from the last Windows Daily. So here it comes. Is this set to the right? Oh, that don't look good. That doesn't have nearly enough content. Oh, that's because I opened the wrong file. Email for Windows Daily, this one. And then scroll down to, I'll get all the way down to the bottom and then go up to where the green is. Okay, so now let's go catch up. This was, let's see, from, email from Dennis. Yeah, about the CosmicStrand Uefi rootkit. So we're gonna come back and deal with that in today's session. Before we do, I'm gonna catch up with the other comments from yesterday's Windows Daily from the chat room. Jose said he would try the suggestion, and that was regarding his device driver for his display. We got a reply from him by email later on. Zavi brought up the subject of when I scroll that there's a blurred image, and that came up in a few other comments. When it scrolls up and down, my response. I tested overclocking yesterday and going to 60 frames per second. And I'm also making note that I had some glitches with Fortnite yesterday morning in that 7 a.m. live stream with Dennis. I have increased the bit rate to, I tested it way up until I got failures. I think it's 16,000 now. So, I tested to private live streams. I did several private live streams to see what made the difference. I did a little bit tinkering around with overclocking and with 60 frames per second. I think the most effective was the bit rate. Rick says at 1080p, same issues. And then this was Dan the Man replying about my comment yesterday about zoom.us and my comment that people from other countries might have to go to a different place to get those release notes. He says zoom.com redirects to US. In Canada, zoom.ca does not go to Zoom, but some other site. My question then would be, can you go to the support and support for clients, I think it was, and find the release notes through the Canadian? I'd be interested to know that. And then Iowa Hank speculated that when I opened Zoom, it automatically did an update when I have my head turned, but Zoom prompts for updates. I don't know that it does any updates. I think more likely what happened when I was surprised to find that I had a more recent version of Zoom, I probably upgraded it myself. In testing and intended to downgrade it back to the older one and never got around to it. I think that's what happened there. Tony makes comments, AMD crashes Zoom, LOL. And then Jose in an email after yesterday's session says, thanks for your suggested fix. I unchecked allow the computer to turn off options of all USB entries and other entries in the devices tab. Upon restart, the problem still exists. Using different keywords, I searched through Google and found a link to this Intel site. Upon removing the Intel 620 graphics driver and not installing another driver, the problem is corrected. Now I need to get a suitable driver or find out how to prevent Windows from automatically reinstalling a troublesome driver. We're going to go look at this, and I have some comments about that. Oh, and he sent a contribution from through PayPal. So thank you, Jose, for that. Again, not necessary, but always appreciated. And I'm saying not necessary because I don't want anyone else to be hesitant about asking questions, thinking they're obligated to contribute money. I appreciate those who are in a financial position that they can afford to contribute. Please do not feel obligated to. From KenStat Live, I got a new section here, a new highlighted missing photos. I'm going to go ahead and make some comments about that because on KenStat Live episode last night, Ken had lost some photos. And through the whole time that I was listening in the background while I'm doing other things, I never heard somebody come up with a suggestion that I have for that. So I'm going to go ahead and give that here. My recollection, Ken, is that some number of days ago, you did a backup that took much longer than you anticipated. So why is it taking up so much space? You got a tool for evaluating size, storage space. I think that came from Wintermute probably. And you discovered there was an iCloud folder, and you said, "Oh, I thought I got rid of that." So you got rid of that, and so whatever was in there is probably still in your iCloud account. I suspect it was after that you were displaying those photos to other people, and they witnessed that, and that might be why you discounted that iCloud folder. However, I recollect that Alex walked you through mounting a Macrium Reflect backup image. That image would have been mounted as perhaps the D drive. As you recollect, you saw these photos on a D drive. So it was mounted as a D drive, and you could browse through it. It looks like any other USB connected drive, but it wasn't a USB connected drive. Subsequently, you might have attached a external USB drive that came up as a different drive letter. So then next time you restarted the computer, the USB connected drive would have come up as drive D. That mounted drive from Macrium Reflect would no longer have been present. So hopefully you still have that large Macrium Reflect backup that you can recover those photos from, or they're still on your iCloud account. Now I may be way off, but that's my recollection. Now, since you were talking, you were wondering, were you actually dreaming that you saw those photos and then you got the witnesses because you showed those photos to other people? Well, I'm also wondering, did I dream that whole thing about iCloud? Because you guys never mentioned that. So anyway, maybe that'll be a fit. So let's come back here and see where we're going. And I haven't even mentioned this thing for today about that rootkit. We'll get to that in the last part. Then let's go look at this HTML. I'll copy that and I'll paste that into chat. Let's see what we got going on in chat. Watch the video. I have star BBB, so nothing else there really jumps out at me. So I'm going to put, let's see, this is Jose's link to the Intel article. Now, since I had to restart BBB, I haven't brought those tabs back up again. So we'll go look at that. So basically what this is telling the users is that the Intel driver is causing this problem. And what they're telling you to do, let's see, if I expand the driver, can be called Intel Graphics Media and uninstall the Intel Graphics Media driver. So once Jose did that, the problem was solved, but he's afraid that it might come back. So the thing that you need to be able to do now is to prevent it from reinstalling that driver. So I'm doing a Google search here, prevent specific device driver from updating. I typed the letters PRE and it filled that out. That's because I recently did that search before restarting the Big Beast build. So then here I'm going to right click and new tab and right click and new tab. Take a quick look at these two. when you scroll down through here, of course, there's a bunch of advertising. I considered this morning, I thought, no, I'm not going to turn off, I'm not going to block the advertisement while I'm doing YouTube videos because it's a little bit marginally, is it ethical for a person who's creating videos like this to be blocking advertisers? Yeah, I don't know. You can prevent automatic updates for specific drivers, and this tells getting the tool from Microsoft, Windows Hide Diag Cabinet, and then this here is a link to that. So I'm going to put a link to this article into chat, and I will later put that link also into the description of this video. So hide specific device drivers, and put in that link. I'm going to click on that and make sure that link works. Yes, it did. And it didn't even give me the prompt about, are you sure you want to leave YouTube? All right. Then go look at this other one from 10 forums. And it has also, I'm not sure if it's the same method of preventing specific device drivers, but that's what you want to do, Jose. So I'm going to put that link into chat as well. You would think I would know to go to the other tab instead of doing Alt Tab. And then another one. Okay. And so then there's the other link, and I'm going to test that one. Be sure it'll go to the right place. Yes, it does. Aliaz says, thank you for the daily streams. I love them. Thank you. Such a kind comment. Then I think we're ready to move on to, let's see, I've covered everything in here, right? Yeah. So let's move on to exploring CosmicStrand UEFI rootkit. This was sent to me by Dennis Thompson, who's DDT 2005 is his YouTube name. So if I click on more here, this will get me to the article for that. I right-clicked and open a new tab and go take a look at this. Now, I'm not sending out the red alert. This is not a red alert. You don't need to get panicked about it, but it's just an opportunity to talk a little bit about these things that come out sometimes from the tech media. Beware, danger, alert, whatever. I go look at the details and often find out, not such a big deal. When the first alerts come out through the tech media, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I got to go around to all my clients and fix this. Usually not. I rarely had to go deal with all my clients. The last thing that I can remember having to do that was CryptoLocker, one of the very earliest encryption ransomware things. So beware PCs with Asus and Gigabyte motherboards housing CosmicStrand UEFI rootkit. So you see UEFI, that means a UEFI BIOS. So it's not going to be a problem to older computers. The security threat research team at antivirus market Kaspersky. Now that's from Russia. The malware, right? Not Ukraine. Yeah, it's Russia. I think it tells us later it's Russia. The malware, in fact, isn't new. There's an earlier variant dubbed Spy Shatter Trojan. CosmicStrand is a UEFI rootkit found in infected. Can I do that? No, I'm going to have to look this way. Infected Asus and Gigabyte firmwares, and as such is what we call advanced persistent threat, hard to get rid of. Kaspersky has found so far that only Windows system has been attacked and compromised. Since this is a UEFI BIOS, you would think any operating system could fall victim to this, but it appears that the code that is in this rootkit is targeted to Windows because I'm not going to read through all of this. But what we find is that the code that's in BIOS is sending specific commands to the Windows operating system. So perhaps it's not going to work on others. All of the attack machines were Windows-based systems. Every time a computer rebooted, a bit of malicious code would be executed after Windows started. Its purpose was to connect to a C2 command and control server and download additional malicious executable. So it resides in UEFI BIOS. So no matter how many times you replace a hard drive or reformat a hard drive, you're not going to clear out this virus with that method. Anti-Malware Maker has described in its in-depth secure list article how the threat actors carry out this entire connection to deliver the payload. Now, I'm going to try to skip through a little bit further. This shows a flow chart of how it achieves the infection. Kaspersky is unable to determine how the infections were carried out in the first place. How was the UEFI BIOS originally infected? But they do give a clue here. Some users have reported that the second-hand motherboards they ordered online were already infected when they received them. So if you buy a second-hand motherboard, or if you buy a motherboard from a non-manufacturer or supplier, there's nothing that prevents a bad actor out there somewhere in the world from selling even new motherboards, Asus and, well, those manufactured motherboards, and having placed the infection in the UEFI BIOS. So that's possible. So if you're doing that kind of stuff, you might want to take a close look at this. For Gigabyte and Asus motherboard users running Windows, enabling secure boot might be a viable option to fend off any harmful effects. Well, now wait a minute. Not if it comes on the motherboard that you purchased. If you then turn on secure boot, that means you are securing that infection into the UEFI BIOS. Now, that's my deduction. Not a software engineer here, but that's the way I would think that would work. I did not mean to click on that. Go back. Was it here? Yeah, good. Of course, the best thing to do is probably reflash your BIOS. So if you do buy the motherboard, the safest thing to do, download the most current BIOS from the manufacturer and upgrade the BIOS to it. There might be a method to clear out the existing BIOS. I'm not certain. Flashing a BIOS on top of an infected BIOS, will the infection carry forward? I'd be worried about that. So if there's a way to flush whatever BIOS is there currently, maybe you need to do that. I don't think that's the case. I think who was it? Is it Greg Salazar? No, there's a YouTuber that does flashing BIOS stuff and manipulating the code within BIOS. So here it actually shows the code included in the older version of the infection and the newer version of the infection. I think they got this wording in here a little mixed up because I think they refer to the former and latter. I think they get those words mixed up, but I'm not going to dig into that in this video. Then there is also a piece in here that they say where those infections seem to be targeted here. So far, it looks like the victims of CosmicStrand are consumers from China, Vietnam, Iran, and Russia. That kind of implies to me that this might be from a government entity, state actor, they call them, who's targeting those particular countries. Maybe, maybe not. So the thing that I wanted to point out as a technical community is a lot of these red flag warnings that come out from the tech press. Sometimes I get a call from my client saying they heard something in the regular media warning about something. When I go look at it deeper, I find, no, it's not going to affect any of my clients. So it's good to go look at the details. So I think that's going to be, I think we've covered everything here that I intended to. We got about 18 minutes into this. I'll go take a look at chat and see if there's anything that I need to respond to now. And if not, then we're going to go ahead and close this down for now. Adamant, that's right. Adamant IT is the one that, no, Root doesn't reprogram. No, somebody does the reprogramming of the BIOS. He puts it into a box that uploads the code to his computer. He can manipulate the code and then reapply it. All right, so I think those are the links that I put in. Lost photo spoiler. Oh, Ken says he did find them. All right, good to know that. All right, that's all I'm going to cover for now. Here's my email address. If you want to send me an email with a technical question that I can use for another Windows Daily, I like those a lot. I don't like emails that come to me talking about this person, that person, or about my Fortnite gameplay. No, I'm not going to be interacting with those issues. Technical content that I can do videos on, those would be great. Very good. So I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.